Leonardo Wilhelm DiCaprio is an American actor and film producer. Known for his work in biopics and period films, he is the recipient of numerous accolades, including an Academy Award, a British Academy Film Award, and 3 Golden Globe Awards. As of 2019, his films have grossed over $7.2 billion worldwide, and he has been placed 8 times in annual rankings of the world's highest paid actors. Born in Los Angeles, DiCaprio began his career in the late 1980s by appearing in television commercials. In the early 1990s, he had recurring roles in various television shows, such as the sitcom Parenthood, and had his first major film part as author Tobias Wolff in This Boy's Life, 1993. At age 19, he received critical acclaim and his first Academy Award and Golden Globe Award nominations for his performance as a developmentally disabled boy in What's Eating Gilbert Grape, 1993. He achieved international stardom with the star-crossed romances Romeo plus Juliet, 1996, and Titanic, 1997. After the latter became the highest-grossing film at the time, he reduced his workload for a few years. In an attempt to shed his image of a romantic hero, DiCaprio sought roles in other genres, including crime drama in Catch Me If You Can, 2002, and Gangs of New York, 2002, the latter marked the first of his many successful collaborations with director Martin Scorsese. DiCaprio portrayed Howard Hughes in The Aviator, 2004, and received acclaim for his performances in the political thriller Blood Diamond, 2006, the crime drama The Departed, 2006, and the romantic drama Revolutionary Road, 2008. In the following decade, DiCaprio starred in several high-profile directors' projects, including the science fiction thriller Inception 2010, the western Django Unchained 2012, the biopic The Wolf of Wall Street 2013, the survival drama The Revenant 2015, for which he won an Academy Award and a BAFTA Award for Best Actor, and the comedy drama Once Upon a Time in Hollywood 2019, all of which were critical and commercial successes. DiCaprio is the founder of Appian Way Productions, a production company that has produced some of his films and the documentary series Greensburg, 2008-2010, and the Leonardo DiCaprio Foundation, a nonprofit organization devoted to promoting environmental awareness. He regularly supports charitable causes and has produced several documentaries on the environment. In 2005, he was named a Commander of the Ordre des Arts et des Lettres for his contributions to the arts, and in 2016, he appeared in Time magazine's 100 Most Influential People in the World. Career 1991-1996. Early work and breakthrough. DiCaprio made his film debut later that year as the stepson of an unscrupulous landlord in the low-budget horror Critters 3, 1991, a role he later described as, "your average, no depth, standard kid with blonde hair." DiCaprio has stated that he prefers not to remember Critters 3, describing it as, possibly one of the worst films of all time, and citing it as the kind of role he wanted to ignore in the future. Later in 1991, he became a recurring cast member of the sitcom Growing Pains, playing Luke Brower, a homeless boy who is taken in by a family. Co-star Joanna Kearns recalls DiCaprio being, especially intelligent and disarming for his age, but she said that he was also mischievous and jocular on set and often made fun of his co-stars. DiCaprio was cast by the producers to appeal to young female audiences, but his arrival did not improve the show's ratings and he left before the end of its run, attributing his departure to bad writing. He was nominated for a Young Artist Award for Best Young Actor co-starring in a television series. In 1992, DiCaprio played a brief role in the first installment of the Poison Ivy film series, and later in the year Robert De Niro handpicked DiCaprio from a shortlist of 400 young actors to co-star with him in This Boy's Life. The film is a biopic on the relationship between the rebellious teenager Toby Wolff DiCaprio, and his mother Ellen Barkin, and abusive stepfather, De Niro. Its director Michael Caton-Jones later said that DiCaprio did not know how to behave on set, leading Caton-Jones to apply a strict mentoring style, after which DiCaprio's behavior began to improve. Bill Gebiri of Rolling Stone found that the powerful bond between Barkin and DiCaprio elevated the film, praising DiCaprio's portrayal of the character's complex growth from a rebellious teenager to an independent young man. DiCaprio played the intellectually disabled brother of Johnny Depp's character in What's Eating Gilbert Grape, 1993, a comic tragic odyssey of a dysfunctional Iowa family. According to director Lasse Hallström, Cadden Jones recommended DiCaprio to him, but he was initially skeptical, as he considered DiCaprio too good-looking for the part. Hallström cast DiCaprio after he emerged as the most observant, auditionee. The film became a critical success. At 19, DiCaprio earned a National Board of Review Award, as well as nominations for a Golden Globe Award and an Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor, making him the seventh youngest Oscar nominee in the category. The film's real show-stopping turn comes from Mr. DiCaprio, wrote the New York Times critic Janet Maslin, who makes Arnie's many tics so startling and vivid that at first he is difficult to watch. The performance has a sharp, desperate intensity from beginning to end. Karin James, also writing for the New York Times, said of his performances in This Boy's Life and What's Eating Gilbert Grape, he made the raw, emotional neediness of those boys completely natural and powerful. DiCaprio's first effort of 1995 was in Sam Raimi's Western film The Quick and the Dead, but Sony Pictures was dubious over DiCaprio's casting, and as a result, co-star Sharon Stone paid his salary herself. The film was released to a dismal box office performance and mixed reviews from critics. DiCaprio's next film in 1995 was The Basketball Diaries, a biopic, in which he played a teenage Jim Carroll as a drug-addicted high school basketball player and writer. DiCaprio next starred alongside David Thewlis in Agnieszka Holland's erotic drama Total Eclipse, a fictionalized account of the homosexual relationship between Arthur Rimbaud DiCaprio and Paul Verlaine Thewlis. He replaced River Phoenix, who died before filming began. Although the film failed commercially, it has been included in the catalog of Warner Archive Collection, a home video division for releasing classic and cult films from Warner Brothers. Library. DiCaprio starred opposite Claire Danes in Baz Luhrmann's film Romeo plus Juliet, 1996, an abridged modernization of William Shakespeare's romantic tragedy of the same name, which retained the original Shakespearean dialogue. The project grossed $147 million worldwide, and earned DiCaprio a Silver Bear for Best Actor at the 1997 Berlin International Film Festival. Reviewing his early works, David Thompson of The Guardian called DiCaprio a revelation in What's Eating Gilbert Grape, very moving in This Boy's Life, suitably desperate in The Basketball Diaries, and a vital spark in Romeo plus Juliet. Later in 1996, DiCaprio starred in Marvin's Room, a family drama about two estranged sisters, played by Meryl Streep and Diane Keaton, who were reunited through tragedy. DiCaprio portrayed Hank, the troubled son of Streep's character, who has been committed to a mental asylum. Lisa Schwartzbaum of Entertainment Weekly praised the deeply gifted DiCaprio for holding his own against the experienced actresses Keaton and Streep, describing the three as full-bodied and so powerfully affecting that you're carried along on the pleasure of being in the presence of their extraordinary talent. 1997-2001, Titanic and worldwide recognition. DiCaprio rejected a role in the film Boogie Nights 1997 to star opposite Kate Winslet in James Cameron's Titanic 1997 as members of different social classes who fall in love aboard RMS Titanic during its ill-fated maiden voyage. DiCaprio initially had doubts about it, but was eventually encouraged to pursue the part by Cameron. With a production budget of more than $200 million, the film was the most expensive at the time and was shot at Rosarito, Baja California, where a replica of the ship was created. Titanic became the highest-grossing film at the time, eventually earning more than $2.1 billion in box office receipts worldwide. The role of Jack Dawson transformed DiCaprio into a superstar, resulting in intense adoration among teenage girls and young women in general that became known as Leo-mania, comparable to Beatlemania in the 1960s. The film won 11 Academy Awards, the most for any film, including Best Picture, but DiCaprio's failure to gain a nomination led to a protest against the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences (AMPAS) by more than 200 fans. He was nominated for other high-profile awards, including a Golden Globe Award for Best Actor. DiCaprio stated in 2000, "I have no connection with me during that whole Titanic phenomenon, and what my face became around the world. I'll never reach that state of popularity again, and I don't expect to. It's not something I'm going to try to achieve either." In 2015, Ebiri called the role DiCaprio's best, writing that he and Winslet infused their earnest back and forth with so much genuine emotion that it's hard not to get swept up in their doomed love affair. A journalist for Vanity Fair similarly labeled them in 2008, Hollywood's most iconic screen couple, since Humphrey Bogart and Ingrid Bergman. Reviewing the film in 2017, Alyssa Wilkinson of Vox took note of DiCaprio's boyish charm, and found him natural and unaffected in his performance. After the success of Titanic, DiCaprio reduced his workload to learn to hear his own voice in choosing the roles that he wanted to pursue. DiCaprio played a role in a brief appearance in Woody Allen's caustic satire of the fame industry, Celebrity 1998, whom Ebiri labeled the best thing in the film. That year, he also starred in the dual roles of the villainous King Louis XIV and his secret, sympathetic twin brother Philippe in Randall Wallace's The Man in the Iron Mask, based on the namesake 1939 film. The film received mixed to negative response, but grossed $180 million against its budget of $35 million. Entertainment Weekly critic Owen Gleiberman wrote that DiCaprio did not look old enough to play the part, but praised him as a fluid and instinctive actor, with the face of a mischievous angel. The Guardian's Alex von Tunzelmann was similarly impressed with his performance but found his talent wasted in the film. Nevertheless, DiCaprio was awarded a Golden Raspberry Award for Worst Screen Couple for both incarnations the following year. In 1998, DiCaprio was cast in American Psycho 2000 for a reported salary of $20 million. After disagreements with Oliver Stone on the film's direction, DiCaprio left the project, taking the lead role in The Beach instead. The latter, an adaptation of Alex Garland's 1996 novel of the same name, saw him play an American backpacking tourist looking for the perfect way of life in a secret island commune in the Gulf of Thailand. Budgeted at $50 million, the film earned about 3 times more at the box office, but was negatively reviewed by critics, and earned him a nomination for the Golden Raspberry Award for Worst Actor. Todd McCarthy of Variety thought DiCaprio gave a compelling performance, but his character lacked the uniqueness to make him dimensional. In the mid-1990s, DiCaprio appeared in the mostly improvised black and white short film Don's Plum as a favor to aspiring director R.D. Robb. When Robb expanded it to a full-length feature, DiCaprio and co-star Tobey Maguire had its release blocked in the US and Canada by court order, arguing they never intended to make it a theatrical release. The film premiered at the 2001 Berlin International Film Festival. 2002-2009, venture into film production. DiCaprio turned down the role of Anakin Skywalker in Star Wars Episode II, Attack of the Clones 2002. His first film that year was the biopic Catch Me If You Can, based on the life of Frank Abagnale Jr., who before his 19th birthday committed check fraud to make millions in the 1960s. Directed by Steven Spielberg, the film was shot across 147 different locations in 52 days, making it the most adventurous, supercharged movie making DiCaprio had experienced yet. The film received critical acclaim, and with a worldwide gross of $351 million against a budget of $52 million, it became his second highest grossing release after Titanic. Roger Ebert praised his departure from dark and troubled characters, while 2 Entertainment Weekly critics in 2018 called it DiCaprio's best role, labeling him delightfully persuasive, deceptive, flirtatious, and sometimes tragic. And we dare you to find a better role, if you can. DiCaprio received his 3rd Golden Globe nomination for his performance in the film. Also in 2002, DiCaprio starred in Martin Scorsese's Gangs of New York, a historical drama set in the mid-19th century in the Five Points district of New York City. Scorsese initially struggled selling his idea of realizing the film until DiCaprio became interested in playing protagonist Amsterdam Vallon, a young leader of an Irish-American street gang, and thus Miramax Films got involved with financing the project. Nonetheless, production on the film was plagued by overshooting of budgets and producer-director disagreements, resulting in an 8-month shoot. With a budget of $103 million, the film was the most expensive Scorsese had ever made. Gangs of New York earned $193 million worldwide and received positive critical response. Ann Thompson of The Observer took note of DiCaprio's low-key, sturdy performance, but felt that co-star Daniel Day-Lewis overshadowed him. In 2004, DiCaprio founded the production company Appian Way Productions, a namesake of the Italian road. He was interested in finding, out of the box, material from an actor's perspective and developing it in a way it stayed true to its original source. He said, "A lot of times, I'd gone through the process of getting a great book or finding a great story, and then too many people get their hands on it and it turns into something entirely different. It is very difficult to reverse that process." DiCaprio's first producing task was in The Assassination of Richard Nixon, starring Sean Penn as Samuel Bick, which was screened in the Uncertain Regard section at the 2004 Cannes Film Festival. DiCaprio and Scorsese reunited for a biopic of Howard Hughes, an American film director and aviation pioneer suffering from obsessive-compulsive disorder, in The Aviator, 2004, which DiCaprio also co-produced under Appian Way. DiCaprio initially developed the project with Michael Mann, who decided against directing it after working on biopics The Insider, 1999, and Ally, 2001. DiCaprio eventually pitched John Logan's script to Scorsese, who quickly signed on to direct. The Aviator became a critical and financial success, grossing $213 million against its budget of $110 million. Simon Brand of Empire praised DiCaprio for convincingly playing a complex role, highlighting the scenes depicting Hughes' paranoia and obsession. He received his first Golden Globe Award for Best Actor, Motion Picture Drama and nominations for an Academy Award, a BAFTA Award, and a Screen Actors Guild Award for Best Actor. In 2006, DiCaprio starred in the crime film The Departed and the political war thriller Blood Diamond. In Scorsese's The Departed, DiCaprio played the role of Billy Costigan, a state trooper working undercover in the Irish mob in Boston, someone he characterizes as in a constant, 24-hour panic attack. This reunited DiCaprio with prior colleagues, Mark Wahlberg after The Basketball Diaries, and Catch Me If You Can co-star Martin Sheen. DiCaprio especially liked the experience of working with co-star Jack Nicholson, describing a scene with him as one of the most memorable moments of his life as an actor. In preparation, DiCaprio visited Boston to interact with people associated with the Irish mob and gained 15 pounds, 6.8 kilograms, of muscle. Critically acclaimed, the film grossed $291 million against a budget of $90 million, becoming DiCaprio and Scorsese's highest-grossing collaboration to that point. Peter Travers of Rolling Stone praised DiCaprio's and co-star Matt Damon's performances, but felt that Nicholson overshadowed the two. Despite DiCaprio's leading role in The Departed, the film's distributor Warner Bros. Pictures submitted his performance for a Best Supporting Actor nomination at the AMPAs to avoid internal conflict with his part in Blood Diamond. Instead, his co-star Mark Wahlberg was nominated, though DiCaprio earned other accolades for The Departed, including a Satellite Award for Best Supporting Actor and nominations for Best Actor at the Golden Globes and BAFTA Awards. In Blood Diamond, DiCaprio starred as a diamond smuggler from Rhodesia who is involved in the Sierra Leone Civil War. While filming, he worked with 24 orphan children from the SOS Children's Village in Maputo, Mozambique, and said he was touched by his interactions with them. To prepare, he spent 6 months in Africa, learned about camouflage from people in South African military and interviewed and recorded people in the country to improve his accent. The film received generally favorable reviews, and DiCaprio was noted for his South African accent, which is generally known as difficult to imitate. Claudia Puig of the USA Today approvingly highlighted DiCaprio's transition from a boy to a man on screen, and Ann Hornaday of the Washington Post similarly noted his growth as an actor since The Departed. DiCaprio received nominations for an Academy Award and a Golden Globe for Blood Diamond. In 2007, DiCaprio produced the comedy-drama Gardener of Eden, which according to The Hollywood Reporter's Frank Scheck, lacked the necessary dramatic urgency or black humor to connect with audiences. Later that year, he produced, co-wrote and narrated The 11th Hour, a documentary on the state of the natural environment that won the Earthwatch Environmental Film Award in 2008. DiCaprio was also a creator and an executive producer for Planet Green's Greensburg, 2008-2010, which ran for 3 seasons. Set in Greensburg, Kansas, it is about rebuilding the town in a sustainable way after being hit by the May 2007 EF5 tornado. Also in 2008, DiCaprio starred in Body of Lies, a spy film based on the novel of the same name. He played one of 3 agents battling a terrorist organization in the Middle East. DiCaprio dyed his hair brown and wore brown contacts for his role in the film, which he considered a throwback to political films of the 1970s like The Parallax View, 1974, and 3 Days of the Condor, 1975. The film received mixed reviews from critics, and grossed $118 million against a budget of $67.5 million. Later in 2008, DiCaprio collaborated with Kate Winslet for the drama Revolutionary Road, directed by her then-husband Sam Mendes. As both actors had been reluctant to make romantic films similar to Titanic, it was Winslet who suggested that they both work with her on a film adaptation of the 1961 eponymous novel by Richard Yates. As she had read the script by Justin Haythe, she found that the plot had little in common with the 1997 blockbuster. Playing a couple in a failing marriage in the 1950s, DiCaprio and Winslet spent some time together in preparation, and DiCaprio felt claustrophobic on the small set they used. He saw his character as unheroic, slightly cowardly, and someone willing to be just a product of his environment. Peter Travers was impressed with DiCaprio's pairing with Winslet and with his multi-layered portrayal of an overwhelmed character, while Marshall Sella of GQ called it the most mature and memorable performance of his lifetime. DiCaprio earned his 7th Golden Globes nomination for the film. Revolutionary Road grossed $75.9 million against its budget of $35 million. He ended the 2000s by producing director Jaume Collet-Serra's psychological horror thriller film Orphan, 2009, starring Vera Farmiga, Peter Sarsgaard and Isabel Fuhrman. Although the film received mixed reviews, it was a commercial success. 2010-2013. Films with high-profile directors. DiCaprio continued to collaborate with Scorsese in the 2010 psychological thriller film Shutter Island, based on the 2003 novel of the same name by Dennis Lehane. He played Edward Teddy Daniels, a U.S. Marshal investigating a psychiatric facility located on an island, who comes to question his own sanity. DiCaprio and Scorsese became interested in the project in 2007, and the former co-produced the film under Appian Way with Phoenix Pictures. Because of the film's disturbing scenes, DiCaprio had nightmares of mass murder during production and considered relaxing with his friend's therapy. The film was released to mixed reviews. Peter Bradshaw of The Guardian praised Scorsese's direction and the acting but criticized its twist ending. Peter Travers called it DiCaprio's most haunting and emotionally complex performance yet, and particularly liked his cave scene with co-star Patricia Clarkson. The film was a commercial success, grossing $294 million worldwide against a budget of $80 million. DiCaprio's second role in 2010 was in Christopher Nolan's critically acclaimed ensemble science fiction film Inception. Inspired by the experience of lucid dreaming and dream incubation, the film features Dom Cobb, DiCaprio, an extractor, who enters the dreams of others to obtain information that is otherwise inaccessible. Cobb is promised a chance to regain his old life in exchange for planting an idea in a corporate target's mind. DiCaprio was intrigued by this concept, this dream heist notion, and how this character's gonna unlock his dream world and ultimately affect his real life. Made on a budget of $160 million, the film grossed $836 million worldwide to become DiCaprio's second highest grossing film. To star in this film, DiCaprio agreed to a pay cut from his $20 million fee, in favor of splitting first dollar gross points, meaning he received a percentage of cinema ticket sales. The risk proved fruitful, as DiCaprio earned $50 million from the film, becoming his highest payday yet. After playing demanding roles in Shutter Island and Inception, DiCaprio took a small break from acting to have some time for himself, returning the following November in Clint Eastwood's J. Edgar 2011. A biopic about J. Edgar Hoover. The film focuses on the career of the FBI director from the Palmer raids onward, including an examination of his private life as an alleged closeted homosexual. Critics felt that the film lacked coherence overall but commended DiCaprio's performance. Roger Ebert praised DiCaprio's fully realized, subtle and persuasive performance, hinting at more than Hoover ever revealed, perhaps even to himself. Also in 2011, he produced Catherine Hardwicke's romantic horror film Red Riding Hood, very loosely based on the folk tale Little Red Riding Hood. Though the film was criticized for its cliched script and named one of the 10 worst films of 2011 by Time magazine, it had moderate box office returns. Also that year, DiCaprio's Appian Way produced George Clooney's political drama The Ides of March, an adaptation of Beau Williams's 2008 play Farragut North. In 2012, DiCaprio starred as plantation owner Calvin Candy in Quentin Tarantino's spaghetti western, Django Unchained. After reading the script, DiCaprio was uncomfortable with the extent of racism portrayed in the film, but his co-stars and Tarantino convinced him not to sugarcoat it. While filming, DiCaprio accidentally cut his hand on glass, but continued filming, and Tarantino elected to use the take in the final product. The film received critical acclaim. A writer for Wired magazine commended him for playing a villainous role in his blood-chilling performance. The film earned DiCaprio a Golden Globe Award nomination for Best Supporting Actor. Django Unchained grossed $425 million worldwide on a production budget of $100 million. In January 2013, DiCaprio said he would take a long break from acting to fly around the world doing good for the environment. That year, he had 4 releases as an actor and a producer. His first was in the role of millionaire Jay Gatsby in Baz Luhrmann's The Great Gatsby, an adaptation of F. Scott Fitzgerald's 1925 novel of the same name, co-starring Carey Mulligan and Tobey Maguire. DiCaprio liked the idea of playing a man who realizes his imaginations, someone he characterizes as a hopeless romantic, a completely obsessed wacko, or a dangerous gangster, clinging to wealth. The film received mixed reviews from critics, but DiCaprio's performance was praised, and earned him an AACTA award for Best Actor in a Leading Role. Critic Rafer Guzman of Newsday wrote that DiCaprio was not only tough, but also vulnerable, touching, funny, a faker, a human. It's a tremendous, hard-won performance. Matt Zoller Sites of Roger Ebert's website described his performance as the movie's greatest and simplest special effect, and iconic, maybe his career best. The film grossed $353 million worldwide, more than 3 times its budget. 3 films were produced by DiCaprio under Appian Way in 2013. The ensemble crime thriller Runner Runner, which The Guardian's Son Brooks described as a lazy, trashy film that barely goes through the motions, the commercially failed thriller Out of the Furnace, and the black comedy drama The Wolf of Wall Street. DiCaprio reunited with Scorsese for the 5th time in The Wolf of the Wall Street, a film based on the life of stockbroker Jordan Belfort, played by DiCaprio, who was arrested in the late 1990s for securities fraud and money laundering. DiCaprio wanted to play Belfort ever since he had read his autobiography and won a bidding war with Warner Brothers. against Brad Pitt and Paramount Pictures for the rights to Belfort's memoir in 2007. He was fond of Belfort's honest and unapologetic portrayal of his actual experiences in the book, and was inspired by the financial crisis of 2007-2008 to make the film. The Wolf of Wall Street received highly positive reviews for Scorsese's direction and DiCaprio's comedic performance. The Hollywood Reporter's Todd McCarthy lauded DiCaprio for fully realizing his character's potential with a carefree performance. The film earned him the Golden Globe Award for Best Actor in a Musical or Comedy and nominations for a BAFTA Award for Best Actor in a Leading Role, as well as Academy Awards for Best Actor and Best Picture. 2014-present. Focus on environmental documentaries and awards success. DiCaprio was an executive producer on Virunga, a 2014 British documentary film about 4 people fighting to protect the world's last mountain gorillas from war and poaching. The film premiered at the Tribeca Film Festival in April 2014, and DiCaprio was nominated for the 2015 Primetime Emmy Award for Outstanding Documentary or Nonfiction Special. Cowspiracy. The Sustainability Secret was another documentary film that year for which he was an executive producer. He took part in the new cut released exclusively on Netflix that September. It explores the impact of animal agriculture on the environment. In 2015, DiCaprio produced and played fur trapper Hugh Glass in Alejandro G. Iñárritu's survival drama The Revenant. DiCaprio found his role in the film difficult. He had to eat a raw slab of bison's liver and sleep in animal carcasses. He also learned to shoot a musket, build a fire, speak 2 Native American languages, Pawnee and Arikara, and apply ancient healing techniques. Built on a budget of $135 million, the film earned $533 million worldwide. The film received positive reviews with particular praise for DiCaprio's acting. Mark Kermode of The Guardian wrote that DiCaprio shone with a performance that prioritizes physicality over speech, and Nick DeSemlian of Empire noted that he uplifted the film. The film earned him numerous awards, including an Academy Award, a Golden Globe, a BAFTA, a Screen Actors Guild Award and a Critics' Choice Award for Best Actor. For the next 3 years, DiCaprio narrated documentaries and served as a producer for films. In 2016, he was an executive producer for The Ivory Game and Catching the Sun, and produced, hosted, and narrated the documentary Before the Flood about climate change. He produced the crime drama Live by Night 2016, which received enthusiastic reviews and failed to recoup its $65 million production budget. His next production ventures were in 2018, the psychological horror Delirium and the commercially failed action-adventure Robin Hood. After producing and narrating the 2019 global warming documentary Ice on Fire, DiCaprio returned to acting following a 4-year break in Quentin Tarantino's comedy drama Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, which traces the relationship between Rick Dalton DiCaprio, an aging television actor, and his stuntman, Cliff Booth Brad Pitt. To help the film's financing, DiCaprio and Pitt agreed to take a pay cut, and they each received $10 million. DiCaprio liked working with Pitt. Tarantino described the pair as the most exciting since Robert Redford and Paul Newman. DiCaprio was fascinated with the film's homage to Hollywood and focus on the friendship between his and Pitt's characters. He drew from real-life experience of witnessing the struggles and rejections of his actor friends in the industry. The film premiered at the 2019 Cannes Film Festival, where critics praised his and Pitt's performances. A writer for Business Insider called it one of the best performances of DiCaprio's career, and Ian Sandwell of Digital Spy particularly liked the duo's chemistry, which he said helps bring authenticity to their characters' connection. DiCaprio received nominations for an Oscar, a Golden Globe, a BAFTA Award and a Screen Actors Guild Award for Best Actor. The film earned $374 million against a budget of $90 million. In 2020, DiCaprio served as an executive producer for The Right Stuff, a television series adaptation of the 1973 namesake book. After being in development at National Geographic, it was released on Disney+. That May, DiCaprio briefly featured in the finale of the miniseries The Last Dance. In 2021, DiCaprio appeared in Adam McKay's satirical comedy Don't Look Up. DiCaprio spent 5 months changing the film's script with McKay before agreeing to the part. Starring alongside Jennifer Lawrence as two astronomers attempting to warn humanity about an extinction-level comet, DiCaprio saw this film as an analogy of the world's indifference to the climate crisis. As a frequent supporter of environmentalism, DiCaprio said he has often looked to star in and make films tackling issues related to it, something he found hard due to people's inability to listen. He praised McKay for envisioning a project on how humans would react to a serious issue from a political, social, and scientific standpoint. While reviews for the film were mixed, most critics praised DiCaprio's and Lawrence's performances. Journalists from Digital Spy and NDTV lauded their pairing as energetic and delightful. DiCaprio earned nominations for a Golden Globe and a BAFTA award for the film. It broke the record for the most views, 152 million hours, in a single week in Netflix history.